Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Mindset with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. And here we teach busy minds how to live their most authentic life, how to gain confidence, and how to step into their power. Girl, if you've got a busy mind, then stay tuned because each week we're going to dive into topics like mindfulness, resilience, goal setting, self-empowerment, sharing tips and stories to help you navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. If you're ready to unlock your full potential and create a life you love, grab a cup of coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's embark on this journey of growth and transformation together. Welcome to Mindset with Mary. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Mindset with Mary podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. Today's episode is all about how to manifest weight loss. But before we dive in, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been sending their questions my way. It makes it so much easier for me to curate these episodes specifically for you, to you, just because I get to learn about what you're struggling with and I can share tips that are truly helpful for you instead of me just blabbing on about myself. Though maybe you don't mind that. Just kidding. Anyways, one of the questions I received this week was, how do I manifest weight loss? I was also asked about how to manifest health, which I think is more of a holistic approach to what most of us are actually looking to achieve. But let's be real, weight loss is the shiny red carpet, and that's what we think we need to feel our best. So let's just get into it. I have 4 steps or tips. Really, I say that simply because they kind of go hand in hand. They are steps, but you can kind of mingle and mix and match, and sometimes the process kind of just repeats itself. And sometimes you go from 1 to 3 to 4 to back to 2. Anyways, these are the 4 steps or tips that I have to help you achieve weight loss without the stress of the typical diet culture or excessive workout approach that most of us tend to take. So the first step that I want to talk about is just getting really clear about what you want. I want you to start asking yourself what exactly it is that you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to achieve goals that are influenced by what you're seeing on social media? Are they truly authentic to you? Are you simply looking for more energy, or are you really focused on that weight loss because that seems to just be the easiest way to achieve your health goals and be able to have the energy that you want? And it's so much easier. And for me, this is how I approach my health because it's so much easier for me to use the number to help me figure out my goals, right? And I don't just look at it from the scale point of view. I also look at it based on different things that you can get from your doctor when it comes to tests and things like that, and the numbers on the map. But also it's a lot more to do with how you feel. And if you feel good, that's a clear indicator that you're doing well. So even if you see a lower number on the scale, which I do sometimes, I see that lower number on the scale, but I feel kind of crappy. That's an indicator for me right there that even though kudos to me, I've lost weight, my brain doesn't feel very well. And so I need to focus on that versus just the scale. So it's a lot more encompassing. And I think that we need to really just hone in on what it is that we truly want. So to give you an example, I used to chase that Instagram fit girl dream, aiming for that jacked version of myself. But in all reality, all I really wanted was to feel more energized and to stop letting food control my life. And then also just be fit. Like, I think there's a huge difference. I once had a friend who told me there's a huge difference between being jacked and being fit. And I realized that, while I loved the idea of being jacked, for me, fit was more important. And that was what was more sustainable for me at the time. So I challenge you to get clear on what you really want and break that down into smaller, more manageable chunks. And maybe focusing on losing 1 pound or even half a pound at a time. For me, the way I got to where I am right now is looking at it from, a year and a half ago, I just stopped and was like, I can't keep trying to lose 5 pounds every month. Like, it's not working for me. It's not working for me. I lose the weight, I gain it back. I lose the weight, I gain it back. That does not work for me anymore. And so I had to just take it a step back and say, I'm going to try to lose a pound every 2 months. And then I just really set aside the 2 months and just focus on that 1 pound at a time. And that's what worked for me. And so maybe that's what you need to do, is break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks that really make sense. And then really just getting clear. Like, I used to think that I needed to weigh 130 pounds to be fit, which is so silly, because the goal that when I came up with this goal about 1.5 years ago, I realized that the times that I felt the most energized was when I weighed 140. So my goal was, not 140, 145. My goal was to reach 145 and then just strictly from there focus on maintaining and building lean muscle. And so that's where I'm at now. It's crazy to think that I've even reached 140, which I kind of like fluctuate back and forth between 140 to 145. Sometimes I think that if your goal is 145, it's a little bit more easy on your mind if you take it like your like long-term goals. I'm not talking about the one that you're going to focus on right now, but long-term goal, like for me, like 145, that made more sense to me, right? But if I'm going to reach 145, I know that I'm going to be eating treats here and there every once in a while. And so it makes way more sense for me to say, okay, 145 is a goal, but I want to maintain that. So for me to maintain that, I really need to weigh about 142, because that gives me the flexibility of saying, you know what, I am having 2 pieces of cake tonight and I'm going to enjoy it. Yup. And so I think that was also a huge eye-opening moment for me. 145, once I get there, once I learn to maintain it, and I've done that for 6 months now. Now I get to work on that lean muscle. Okay, we're here. Now I'm going to work on that. And I'm going to do it one slow step at a time. So, and that's actually my next step for me. I've got to really get clear on what that looks like for me in terms of my lifestyle and where I'm at. Anyways, taking a slower approach really just honors your nervous system, allowing you to progress gradually. Because when you obsess with your result and you stress and all of that, you're gonna produce cortisol. We know this. We've heard it time and time again, which we also know actually makes our body hold on to weight, right? Our body, when we produce cortisol, holds on to excess weight. So slow down, enjoy the journey. And I promise you, like, I've seen this time and time again with so many manifestation processes, that the second you let go of the outcome, that's when everything starts to speed up. And that's when it sped up for me. When I said, you know what, I'm just going to kind of look at 1 pound at a time. And if I ever get to 145, like, who gives a damn? Because I'm enjoying this process and I love focusing on just taking care of me. And I love that journey. And when I did that and I set the actual outcome aside, bam, all of a sudden I was making like little tiny changes each month, and I got there and I maintained it. And that's just huge. So next thing I really want to talk about, step number 2, is to build your confidence and your self-love. This is huge. Confidence is key in your journey, and it starts with building that self-love and trust in yourself. One of the ways that this is done is through personal development. This is how I've done it, is I consistently open my mind up to new ways of thinking and understanding really just how my reticular activating system works. You guys hear me talk about this over and over and over again. And I'm going to keep talking about it over and over again until hopefully you just have it ingrained in your brain and you understand that this is the way the mind works. And if you want to manifest all the things in your life, that you've got to work with this system. So the RAS is a part of our brain that filters out any unnecessary information, and it operates based on our beliefs. And if you believe that getting healthy and losing weight is going to be hard, your brain will seek to prove that that is the truth. 100%. It will find every reason to make it hard. And you literally manifest programs health and fitness programs that make getting healthy hard, because your mind is going to seek that belief and it will find it. So maybe if you're seeking this right now, you're starting to open up your mind to the idea that maybe, and this opportunity is coming your way and you're hearing it out. Because I'm telling you, manifesting weight loss and health 10 times easier than you probably have thought it has ever been. 10 times easier. It gets to be simple, it gets to be sustainable, and it gets to be fun. And if you start practicing that belief and ingraining that into your mind, you will find the approach for you that works for you and not anyone else. It's your specific curated approach because you believed it. So start there. Get clear on your goals, then start to build your confidence and trust in yourself that you're going to find the right approach for you and that you're freaking amazing already right now. If that's actually something that you're struggling with is self-love, I feel like I need to do a whole episode just on self-love. If that's something that you're struggling with, I want you to start taking a moment in the mornings to just look at yourself in the mirror and start saying, like, even though I'm finding it hard to love myself, more and more I'm able to. Even though I have a hard time loving where I'm at, more and more I'm able to love where I'm at. And once you like start to get over the fact that like, and the reason why I say even though is because sometimes we have to go from, instead of just pure affirmation, you have to like transition it, right? Our brains are in this phase where it's like, why would I love myself? I'm horrible, I'm worthless, I'm blah blah blah, and all of the things. Oh my God. And girl, if you were there, like, my heart is right there with you. I've been there. I love you, and I hope you know that it is possible to achieve self-love. It's not perfect. It's never going to be. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never been to that level of self-love, but I do know that it's achievable. And so I'm right there with you. Long story short, I want you to start practicing that and stick around, because I'm going to create an entire episode just on self-love and tips and tricks on ways to be able to love yourself more and the things that I've done to help me get there. And hopefully that's just something that can help open your mind up to the idea that you're actually worthy of this journey and you're actually capable of achieving your goals. I love you. Back to the whole thing we're talking about. Anyways, long story short, our mind has an RAS system and it works based on our beliefs. That's why self-love is so important, because the more you believe in yourself and the more you love yourself, the more you're going to seek out things that are going to help you accomplish your goals. And it's going to be much more effortless because your brain is on that same wavelength with you. It's already there rather than you working against it. And really just start practicing that new belief system. I personally use ThinkUp. Wow, I need a drink of water. I can't talk right now. Okay, here we go. I personally use the ThinkUp app. No affiliation here, I promise. What this app does is you can download and just, I think it's like $99 for a lifetime. And I know that's like, for some, maybe that's like, eek, I don't want to spend that much money. Best investment I've ever made. Best damn fucking investment I've ever freaking made. You can use this app to record your own affirmation. So you type up whatever you feel you need. It will give you some suggestions to use. Sometimes I use those, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just use what I need. Type that up, and then it lets you record it. So you get to record using your own voice, and then it plays that recording over the top of like calming, relaxing, meditative music. And so you can record like 5, 6, 7, I think I have like 30 affirmations right now. And I wake up in the morning, put my headphones in, and I just listen to those affirmations, and it repeats over and over again while I'm making my coffee, brushing my teeth, doing all of the like mind numbing, blah, blah, blah stuff. But right here is super important, because And really why you want to do this in the morning or right before bed is because our minds are much more susceptible to changing our beliefs. This is, I'm trying to think of the word and I can't. Okay, I'm just going to dumb this down because my mind's not wrapping itself around it right now. It is basically when we wake up in the morning, we're still kind of in that like groggy phase of our sleep mode, right? And our brainwaves are on this like state of susceptibility. Oh my gosh, this is just not coming out right now. Long story short, when you wake up in the morning, your mind is more susceptible to change. And so that's why I use my affirmations in the morning, because it's much more of a hypnosis type, the words, they're just not coming. Long story short, use the affirmations right before bed or in the morning. We're just going to skip now. But the more you love yourself on your journey, because you start to change that belief, again, the easier it's going to be. Plus, the less stress you have, the less cortisol your body is going to produce. And really, it's just going to let you release that weight that you've been holding on to with all the stress you've been holding on to. Step number 3, consistency. Take action toward your goals. So I think so often we think that consistent action means that we have to do all these things that everyone else is telling us to do. But consistent action is not about how much you can do. And I want you to approach it from a place of, what's my max burnout? What is my max burnout? Take it one step at a time and allow yourself to snowball the effect, rather than just jumping right there, right? Like I used to think that I had to lose 5 pounds every month just to reach my goal. And I kept like, literally I would write 5 pounds. Like, what's your goal? Lose 5 pounds this month, lose 5 pounds this month. Like every month I would write it and I would get maybe like 1 pound at a time. And so I think we like overdo it and we're like, okay, well, to lose 5 pounds, I got to do this, and this, and this. No. Back it up. Consistency also takes place with sustainability. We cannot stay consistent if it is not sustainable for us to achieve that, right? So maybe what this looks like is waking up 5 minutes earlier, saying in your affirmations, and drinking 1 extra glass of water every day for the next month. And that's it. And stop thinking in this all or nothing terms. Like if I don't achieve all of those 3 things in a day, I'm done, I'm out. If I don't actually accomplish that goal, I'm done, I'm out. And just progress over perfection. One small step at a time. Didn't achieve my goal? That's okay. Keep going. Didn't achieve my goal? That's okay. I'm still 1 step ahead of where I used to be. These habits are now habits versus not being habits. And then just keep going and being consistent. And the more you do that, the more you can take on, right? Because the stronger you get through consistent action, right? Like the version of you right now is 100% different than the version of you in 3 months. That version of you might be able to take on more. And you don't need to worry about that right now. Right now, all you need to worry about is, what is your max burnout? And don't do anything more than that. Actually, do less than that, because you don't want to burn out. Because if you burn out, you're probably not going to stay consistent, and you're probably not going to keep doing what you want, and you're not going to reach your goal. So take consistent action. And then step number 4 is to regulate your nervous system. I want you to take 5 minutes every day to just really be present with yourself, or meditate. And again, this follows the entire approach of, hey, when you're stressed, you're going to produce cortisol. And just producing that cortisol all the time, you're going to hold an extra 5 or so pounds. I literally left a job last year that stressed me out like crazy. I lost 5 pounds in that like next month because I was holding so much stress from that job. But I also didn't give myself time in that job to regulate my nervous system. Had I been doing that, maybe I could have maintained that stressful job. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother different day. But really just taking it from that 3D perspective of these are the steps I need to take, these are the things I need to do, and moving into maybe a much more spiritual approach and allowing yourself to meditate and recognizing that those things are actually going to help you lose the weight a lot quicker than taking on more action. And last tip, not really a step, but just kind of a bonus tip, I would say, stop following everyone else's rules. Girl, it never worked for you before. Well, I'm speaking to my past self right now. And this is what I would tell myself. Girl, it's never worked for you before. Stop following everyone else's rules. Get curious about what works for you. And maybe you can eat a piece of cake every night. How do you know? You've never allowed yourself to do it. But if you keep telling yourself that cake is going to make you gain weight, it's probably going to make you gain weight. You're going to get stressed every time you see a piece of cake. And then you're going to produce cortisol. And then, yes, the cake is going to make you hold on to extra weight that you don't need to hold on to, because you can eat cake and probably not gain weight, but you're so focused on actually gaining weight. When you eat it, you're going to gain weight. It's a vicious cycle. That's what I would tell my past self, because that's where I was in my life. I focused so much on how everything else was going to, all these rules, and how if I didn't work out 5 to 6 days a week, that I was going to just completely mess it all up. If I didn't do the one workout, I was going to lose it all. I was so stressed that if I didn't lift weights, I was going to lose my muscle. And the more I was stressed out about that, the more I did not have the energy to do the workouts. So, I am telling you, take a much more spiritual approach. Look at it from a manifestation perspective. Stop following everyone's rules. Get really, really clear. Get really freaking clear about what it is you truly want. Build your confidence. Build your self-love. Get really consistent. Take intuitive action. Listen to your gut. Know what it is that you need. And start regulating your nervous system. Meditate. Pray. Do all the things. And don't get crazy about that, right? Like, if you're going to regulate your nervous system, don't go and listen to a 20-minute video on like a 20-minute meditation. Keep it simple. 3 minutes a day. 1 minute a day. Like, just keep it simple. I guess that's the theme of this whole thing, right? When it comes to manifestation, it's actually much more simple. When it comes to manifesting your health goals, your weight loss goals, it's much more simple than you think. So, there you have it. My 4 steps to manifesting weight loss, plus the bonus tip. Remember, it's all about getting clear on what you want, building that confidence, taking consistent action, and regulating your nervous system. And most importantly, make your journey your own. Have fun. Play with it. Get curious. This is not just like end of the world, like I've got to lose weight right now. There's so many more important things in life. Have fun with your kids. Have fun with your spouse. Go to the freaking winery. Go to have a margarita with your friend that you haven't. It's not going to make you gain weight. And if it does, then it's probably because you were stressed out that it was going to make you gain weight. Learn what works for you. Maybe it does, but learn that and understand that like your approach is going to be so much different than anyone else's. Create your own rules. So thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep manifesting everything. Love you all. Thank you so much. Last important tip, if this was helpful for you, share it with a friend, like it, comment it on it, subscribe, all of the things. Go rate, review. The more you do that, and the more it brings this podcast to more people and helps more women who may be struggling and wanting to stop letting things hold them back and actually manifest their dreams. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love you with all my heart. Have a beautiful day.